In this video, Christo, the founder of the Futur, shares a simple but powerful approach to building mental habits that will lead to your success, be that in sports, business, or life. Let's do this. As you were talking about the athletes, what I thought about was Noah Lyles in this Paris Olympics. And Noah Lyles has this almost unreasonable assumption that he's going to win because some of the other athletes are pretty good. There's one tall guy whose name I can't remember, and he looked to me to be more likely to win. But Noah Lyles, when he came out into that Paris Olympics, he was like jumping. He jumps really high, acting like he'd already won. And I was like, man, this guy's arrogant, but he won by a hair. And You've got to ask yourself, well, what was the difference between him and the silver medalist? Probably nothing in terms of physical ability and training, but he still managed to pull it off. You know, you have to now start asking yourself, well, did he manifest it? I'm very skeptical about manifestation, but it makes you wonder, right?
Well, I'm going to make, hopefully, you a little less skeptical about manifestation. Okay. And it's a fancy word, right? So let's get into that. The race you're talking about, they had to do replay because they first thought the other guy won, right?
Yes.
That, wait, hold on a second. We need to review the tape. And they looked at this. And I think it was that no one expected him to win because the other guy was just taking off. I remember there was a little catch-up that he had to do. So physically, he might not even be the same despite the results. That his mentality said, I'm going to win. This guy who's ahead of me, it's okay because I'm going to take him in a second. I'm just going to overtake him in a little bit. And he was able to do that. Let's talk about manifesting a little bit here. We only go as far as we tell ourselves that we're capable of. You know, we were talking about Seth Godin before. He has this exercise and he does it quite often. He's like, everybody raise your hands as high as you can. And then everybody's trying to raise their hand. And then he goes, now raise a little bit higher. And then he raises a little bit higher. He's like, what just happened?
I know this one.
Why do we do that? Right? And his explanation is like we have expected in our lives, we've become accustomed to knowing that people will always ask us for more. So we subconsciously hold back a little bit. Let's just do this right now. I exercise. So when I say to myself, I'm going to commit to doing 30 or 40 push-ups or 15 pull-ups or 10 or 12 or 4, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of weird. Right before I get to my number, I start to feel a little tired, right? So like 10, I don't know if I can do this, 11, and then 12, I drop off the bar. And why? Why does that happen? Now, there's an exercise. I think it was Wim Hof who did this with somebody who he's like, okay, let's see how many push-ups you can do. And they do this, right? And theoretically, the lactic acid is building up in your chest or your pectorals. And you should not be able to do as many or even more because you're fatigued. So he goes, let's do this again. But I'm going to do the counting this time. He goes, 1, 2, 7, 4, 17. So he's scrambling the guy's brain. So he's lost track of how many push-ups he's doing. And then they stopped and he did more than he previously had done. So we're understanding that a lot of this is self-limiting beliefs. We're holding ourselves back. When we call someone and we're going to ask them for an opportunity, a new business opportunity, we tell ourselves there's no way they're going to hire us. They don't want what we got. And so when they say, I'm not going to hire you, I don't want what you have, then we're like, I knew it. I just knew it. But if you're Noah Lyles and you're walking in there like, it's just a formality when I'm going to collect the gold medal and I have to go through this just so everybody knows it's not like me cheating. So then he runs and he wins. And it's incredible. So I think you might want to rethink or investigate a little bit about this idea of your belief system and how they control your worldview, which then dictates your actions, your thoughts, the way you carry yourself, and then ultimately your body. Your body's going to be held back.
Man, I love talking to you. This is just so much fun. I'm feeling so much joy in this conversation. By the way, since we last spoke, you mentioned that you work out a lot in the post-interview conversation, and I've since joined a gym. I used to be a gym junkie in my early 20s, and my body remembers the feelings of exhilaration and the dopamine, the serotonin, whatever, happens in the body when you work out. But the feelings of confidence are starting to come back. I've tried this many times before and I've fallen off the wagon. So this time I decided to take a leaf out of James Clear's book. In episode 175, we talked about building habits. And so I just set the bar really low and I said, you know what? I'm just going to get to the gym every day and I'm just going to walk into the gym. If it means I step on the treadmill and step off the treadmill, come back home, fine. But I'm going to get my backside to that gym every day. And I have been doing that. I'm listening to music that I used to listen to back then. It's all coming back.
And I'm not an athlete by any stretch of the imagination. I started working out pretty late in life. And there was this ad for Adidas. And it was on a street. It's a double page ad. And it's just like one road going off into the horizon, kind of like disappearing into the horizon. And it's just a normal suburban neighborhood. And there's little bits of type, and it says just to the car, just to the mailbox. And the type got smaller and smaller. It says tracing along this imaginary road that was disappearing into the horizon, single point perspective. And it would say just at the end of the street, just to the next signpost, and so it was really interesting because I'm not a runner, but I think they perfectly captured the essence of what it feels like to run. And it's just to the whatever it is. And then when you get there, you can make a new goal. And then this is how you trick yourself into doing things that you previously dread. So you're absolutely right. And I'm spacing on the guy's name right now, but I read an article about him. Terry Crews. You know who Terry Crews is? Big, muscular African-American man. He's on America's Got Talent as the host on the side. He's not the judge, but he's like, and he's also the spokesperson for Old Spice. And he used to do the peck poppers. Like, he's a very fit man. Used to play for the NFL, I believe. Became an actor afterwards. And you think a guy like him loves the gym. So I'm reading an article about him in Men's Health or Men's Fitness. And it says, I hate going to the gym. I hate it. It's the worst thing ever. I'm like, what? How's this possible? He goes, you know what? All I do in the morning is I put on my gym clothes. That's all. That's just all I want to do. And then I go and have breakfast and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm an idiot. I'm in my gym clothes. Why don't I go to the gym? But I'm just going to sit in the parking lot. So he goes to the parking lot. He sits there. It's like, well, there are a lot of people going in and out. I'll just go in for a few minutes. He goes in and he goes, well, I'm here. He walks around and he's like, I'll just pick up one weight, just one. And then an hour and a half later, he's like, woo. Finish my workout. And it's very true, right? So if we sit there and say, I'm going to go do a whole ab routine, or I'm going to go through one circuit high intensity training, we're like, I'm not doing that. And we'll find a way out. But if you're like, I'm just going to stand in the gym and turn on the TV, that's all I'm going to do. And then once you're in there, you're like, what is this weight? I'll just pick it up for a little bit. So it's kind of really interesting how we can train ourselves to just take one small step, and that is a chain reaction that leads to amazing results, I think. And so I think this could be rippled through everything. Yes. I'm not going to read the book today. I'll just read one page, the first paragraph. And if I don't feel good, there's another guy, his name is Michael Chang, and he used to be six-pack ab shortcuts guy, but he's totally reformed now. And he's much more holistic the way he looks at health and fitness. And he goes, you know what? People get this all wrong. What you should do is commit yourself to doing just one good rep and see how you feel. So he goes, that's it. Don't commit to doing 100 or 300, whatever. Just one good rep. And then if it gives you joy, if you feel exhilarated, if your heart's pumping, and if the inner talk is, I'm doing something good, then you go do one more. And then stop and say, do I still feel good? And if I feel achy, if it doesn't feel right, I'm pushing myself too hard, then stop. But if it feels good, do another rep. So you see this idea, this philosophy is rippled throughout lots of different things. And this is how I think we can, in a way, navigate ourselves to greatness.
So there you have it. You can achieve just about anything you set your mind to, provided you build the right mental habits, cultivate the right beliefs, and follow up with incremental action, where you set yourself little goals that get you to the big one. Now, this was an excerpt from my full conversation with Christo, which you can access if you head over to productiveinsights.com/membership. We are currently looking for the right members to join our membership program, and you can apply to find out whether you're a good fit for us and whether we are a good fit for you. Just email us at team@productiveinsights.com with the word membership in the subject line if you're interested, or alternatively, check out our plans at productiveinsights.com/membership. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe so you can get more content just like this. Ciao for now.